Hi, I'm Emma, and you're watching Our Baby Way, and I'm here with my 1-week-old son, Uhtred. His full name is Uhtred Yggdrasil Breslin. And for those of you that are freaking out about how weird the name is, Uhtred is a pretty old name. It's a Norse Saxon name, and it means wise counsel. It's spelled U-H-T-R-E-D. So his name is Uhtred. And his middle name is also bizarre, as you can hear, and that's spelled in a much crazier way. It's Y-G-G-D-R-A-S-I-L, and it's like egg, like the way a southerner might say an egg, so Yggdrasil. And that is from Norse mythology. It is the huge ash tree that holds up and weaves through the 9 levels kind of the universe, the underworlds, the middle worlds, like things like that. So that's the meaning of his name. And he's here with me because this is the first episode in our new video series where I am switching from my birth way, because the birth is over, and the birth-related reflections, to my reflections on being a mom and him, and just, dealing with a baby and how that's been. So he's a week old today at pretty much at midnight tonight. He was born at 11:37 p.m. last Monday, and today's a Monday. And so the first week has been a wild ride. It's been much more wonderful than I expected. I thought it would be harder and less rewarding the first week. And it has been actually a little bit easier than I expected too. I might have mentioned this in a different video from the My Birthway series. But yeah, I love him so much. And I was afraid in the beginning, what if I don't love him enough? I mean, honestly, I was afraid of that because I like to worry about every single thing under the sun. And I was afraid. I was like, what if I don't? Or like, what if I don't fall in love with him immediately, And I don't think I did. And maybe people think that sounds horrible. I definitely loved him. Like, I love you immediately, but I wasn't like, there weren't like magical bells and whistles going off when I first saw him. I was just too in shock and I was confused. And then right after I saw him, I was bleeding too much and I was real distracted by that, and worried that I would have to go to the hospital and he wouldn't go with me, even though he would have been able to. And because he was just so fine after the birth, I wasn't like, oh no, I'm hurt, he's hurt, what do we do? I just knew he was fine, I think. And I just still couldn't process that. I was like totally in shock. So was Jason. But definitely by day 3 or day 4, it became really clear to me that I was in love with him and would just kill anybody that tried to hurt him. And just wanted to hang out with him all the time. And, I wanted to sleep and not hang out with him sometimes so I could sleep. But otherwise, I just want to smell him and look at him and stuff all the time. And what I had said in my other videos is he is my best friend. Makes me teary just thinking about it. But you don't know how much they're your best friend until they appear, and then they are. It's just too special. It's just, yeah. There's nothing to explain it. There's no way to explain it. Those of you that are mothers know what I'm talking about. But he, to me, has been so impressive. He knows more about what he's doing as a human than I do, and than Jason does. He's like teaching us how to be humans and parents. It's really cool. The first few days were pretty tough, just because nursing wasn't going so great. I mean, he was nursing and he was eating, so I wasn't really too nervous because he was eating and nursing, but it was really hurting and I wasn't getting the latch right, and that was tough. But at our 2-day visit at our birth center, the lactation consultant really helped us kind of tweak one thing, and then I was like, oh my God, I understand now. And this week, we've been able to do some acrobatic nursing sessions. Like, I was able to nurse him just holding him in my arms, with him staying attached, me holding him well enough, walking around the yard to look at the trees and stuff with him when his mamita, his Jason's grandmother was here. And I was able to nurse him while peeing, which was pretty impressive for me, in my opinion, because I've also got this adult diaper to deal with. And I was able to nurse him while I was washing some dishes. Putting dishes away, sorry. And so that makes me feel really happy because I'm a really on-the-go person, and he already is just like, all right, Mom, cool, I got it. We figured out how to do it, we're just going to do it. Just carry on, Mom, I know what I'm doing. So that's really awesome. And I'm just really impressed, too, with how strong he is. He's really strong. His arms are really strong. His hands are always by his face. Or the first few days, not so much anymore. or by his face a lot when he was nursing. And we actually looked that up, and that's part of the way they help kind of find the nipple. Like, hey, here it is, let me hold on to it and make sure I get it in my mouth. But in the case of many humans in the modern world, he doesn't have to hold on. We're very focused on aiming it at him, and it kind of gets in the way of those hands, and it affects the latch, and it really hurts and that kind of thing. And I spent the first 2 nights, not the first night home because we came home at like 5 a.m. in the morning, but that next night and the next night, having some bouts of like bawling, crying, because it hurt so much. And at one point my nipples were bleeding, but bawling, crying, but then, you know, feeling really bad that I'm bawling, crying because I don't want him to be stressed because it's not his fault. You know, so me saying, I'm sorry, it's not your fault, I'm sorry, you know, that kind of thing, which it sounds tragic, but it's fine. I mean, and it's over. Because we've got it figured out. So it's just goes to show you that everybody's breastfeeding journey is different. Everybody's nursing story is different. And some people, it takes a long time to get it figured out, but it's possible because your body can do it. And it's worth it because it's so healthy and what your baby's body is supposed to have in their body. But I've been impressed with him. So he was 8 pounds, 10.5 ounces when he was born. At the 2-day checkup, he was 8 pounds, 5 ounces, which is totally within the normal range of what you lose, because breastfed babies lose some weight. A lot of babies, but especially breastfed babies, lose weight in the beginning, and then they gain it right back. And then today we went to the pediatrician that we found near us, and we really liked her. She was really awesome. And they weighed him again, and he is 8 pounds, 15.5 ounces. So he is 5 ounces over birth weight at a week, but 10 ounces over his 2-day weight, which means he's been gaining 2 ounces a day for the past 5 days, which is pretty good. And I suspected that. He's peed so much, and he poops not as much as peeing. He poops enough, for sure, and his poops are great. Confirms the pediatrician and websites we have looked at. But the peeing is amazing because he has a little teeny rash in his private area, on his important stuff for the future, so he can be a parent. And the pediatrician was like, babies just have to get used to diapers. It's a wet, weird environment, so like, you know, just put a cream on them. Which we've been doing. We've been using coconut oil, and air him out as much as possible, which we already were doing yesterday. That's how we knew how much he peed, because he was laying here on one of those pee-pee pads you can get for dogs, or medical pad you put under people, on the sofa with us, and he peed like non-stop. But we had a system going where we would slide the pee pad, fold it, so there's another space for him to pee. Slide it, fold it, slide it, fold it. He was just laying out here because it's hot and we don't have AC. We're all snuggling together. He's just wide awake, looking around, thinking, like, His wide awake times have already gone up a bunch. Like the first 2-3 days, he was barely ever had his eyes open, ever. And he tends to do this hilarious thing with his left eye, which literally same thing Jason does. When he's sleepy or Jason's sleepy and you talk to them or they wake up, they open the one eye first, kind of, and then like decide if it's worth opening the other eye, and then they open the other eye. And he does the exact same thing as Jason, and it's so hilarious. So that was kind of all the eyeballs we were getting, except for like 5 minutes the first few days. And now we're getting lots of eyeballs, and lots of movement. So he is freakishly strong, in my opinion. He's really strong. And he's also really coordinated and strong in his like neck and stuff. So when he was born, 2 minutes after he was born, I was holding him. He was lifting his neck up like this, like, what's happening? Like, and not like not like wobbly crazy, like with control. You know, of course there was some wobble, but it was kind of like, hey, what's going on? And now days ago, actually, he was laying flat on Jason's chest, and he was laying on one side, and he just like lifted up his head and like kind of looked around a little, and then laid it down on this side. Like, he has complete control, and that's supposed to be like a 3-month-old thing, and he can do that. He is a tough dude. He's gonna be a good farm baby. And then he's also hilariously yesterday started doing this thing where he's maybe like, I need a burp, but I'm also hungry, and hey, I want some more milk, but you're kind of spraying me in the face with the milk. He'll do this thing where he'll like lift his head up right by my boob and kind of go like he's rocking out, and then kind of go, okay, blah, and like reattach. So that's pretty hilarious. So he's been peeing a lot, pooping a lot. His weight gain is great. His little bit of diaper rash is fixable, and we know how to do that. At first you're like, oh my God, are we terrible parents? But that can happen, of course, and so we just know how to deal with it. And